Hi there, this is Hal Benz, the town broker, and I'm bringing you what I hope is the first of many local market reports. The first for the town of Westfield, New Jersey, January 2010. The data for this market report is brought to you by the Garden State Multiple Listings Service. All the data is believed to be reliable, but according to the MLS, cannot be fully guaranteed. We're going to begin by taking a look at the active listings on market for Westfield in the month of January. And what you see over the last 3-year trend is that listings are down about 10% from where they were in 2009, but it's up considerably from the lack of inventory that we saw in the beginning of the year 2008. New listings for the month of January 2010 were approximately the same as they were in 2009, with 47 new listings coming to market this year. Closed listings for the month were 11 listings as opposed to 7 listings last year over the same time period. One of the most striking things, though, to be noted in January 2010 is the shorter days on market. What we see is 54 days for closings in January of this year as opposed to 99 a year ago. And what that is telling us is that that's 1.5 months less that sellers are needing to carry their properties on the market before they find an acceptable offer. New properties brought under contract this month were 14, down slightly from the mark of 16 set in 2009. But one of the striking differences this year is just how little sellers had to adjust their price before they found an acceptable offer. In 2009, sellers needed to come down 10% from their original asking price before they struck a deal with a buyer. This year in 2010, sellers that closed only needed to come down 0.71%. That's less than 1%. And certainly what that's showing, when you add that to the fact that the days on market was decreased, is that more accurate pricing leads to quicker sales. It's just one of the facts of this business. Median sale price for the month of January, $901,000, which is up considerably. We did have quite a number of higher-end homes that closed in the month of January this year, as opposed to 2009, where the average median sale price was $680,000. The average sale to list price ratio, which is a stat that I'd like to pay attention to, what you're seeing in 2010 is that the average sale price, as it relates to the final listing price, was just about 95%, as compared to 93.1% in 2009. And one of the things that you'll find is that over time, that average sale price to list price usually hovers between 95 and 97% when you compare it to the final listing price. But an important statistic to look at is what was the final sale price as a comparison of the original list price. And what we see is that this year in 2010, sellers got 94.7% of their original asking price versus only 87.8% back in 2009. What this is telling me certainly is that the sellers are getting much better at pricing their homes properly. We know that 2009, as the prices were continuing to deflate, it was very difficult for many sellers to gauge what the correct market value was of their property. But certainly 94.7% off the original asking price is a strong number for January 2010. Now I want to take a look at the absorption rate. And what is the absorption rate? What absorption is, it's a number that tells you how healthy the current market is or how vital the current market is. Is the current market alive and well, or is it struggling a little bit? And the way that you find out is to do a simple calculation to take the total number of listings available in a town. In this case, we're looking at a sample of 120 active listings. And if you divide that by the number of reported sales in the last 30 days, you'll come up with a figure that tells you the months of absorption. Again, this hypothetical example shows 120 listings available in town, and if 16 of them were sold in the past 30 days, then you divide the two and you come up with 7.5 months of absorption rate. Now, what does that tell you? Well, what the absorption rate tells you is whether the market is a seller's market, a buyer's market, or whether it's in balance. And certainly about 5 or 6 months of absorption is what we would consider a normal and healthy balanced market. Once you get below 5 months of absorption, you're looking at a stronger seller's market, and above 6 months, it's certainly more of a buyer's market. So where did Westfield finish for January 2010? We had an absorption rate of 10.4, which is down slightly from the same period in 2009, which was at just a little bit over 11 months. And clearly, above 6 months, we're still in a buyer's market here in Westfield. Another interesting way to take a look at this number is what it's telling us that for every buyer planning to purchase a home in the next 30 days, they have approximately 10 homes to take a look at. With an absorption rate of 10 months, they have 10 homes per buyer for them to take a look at. And what that means is that buyers can be a little bit choosier. So what sellers need to think about is how do they position themselves to make sure that they're the one that has the urgency that the buyer wants to buy. Future issues to watch and what we'll be looking at thetownbroker.com. We're going to be paying attention to the home buyer tax credit. What does that mean, and how does that impact the influx of new buyers into the market this spring? The changes in the FHA program we're going to take a look at as well. The increase in down payment that's going to be required, and some of the changes there in that program and what the impact will be in our market. Certainly interest rates we're going to keep a close eye on. We expect them to stay down in the spring, quite honestly. The second half of the year we anticipate interest rates to go up a little bit more, hovering right around 5% here in the beginning of February. And jobs, jobs, jobs. It's all about jobs. We're certainly going to be paying close attention to what the job market looks like and how that's going to impact housing here in Westfield. So that is the Westfield Market Report for January 2010. Thank you for watching. Come back next month when we take a look at the February. If you want to get some other towns' market reports, feel free to take a look under the Market Report tab here on thetownbroker.com. This is Hal Benz, and thank you for listening.